Hello and welcome to our online course in Terrapsychology. I'm Dr. Craig Chalquist, your instructor. I'm core faculty in East-West Psychology at the California Institute of Integral Studies, and I thought I would make a quick intro video to give you a sense of what's ahead in the course and what we're going to do. So Terrapsychology has been around, when I think about it, I can't believe it's been 20 years. Not always going under that name, but yeah, 20 years. And Terrapsychology has evolved that whole time. And it started out by being a set of disciplines at the graduate level for exploring how the presence of the places that we live in and occupy and come from work their way into the psyche, so that motifs and images and even the ground itself all operate as a kind of metaphor or unconscious dynamic. And this will make more sense as we go through the course. And then after that, the field evolved largely because graduate students have used it for master's and PhD work. I think there's been over 50 studies at this point. And along the way, we're going to get into terrapsychological inquiry, which is the set of disciplines that actually evolved into earth-honoring ways of studying our relationship, not just with place, but with the elements, with material things too, with rooms and possessions and roadways and cities and all kinds of things, as well as the natural world, the weather, the climate. How does all that get into us? But then the other part of the question is equally important. How do our supposedly internal states of fantasy, mood, emotions, attitudes, how do they reflect all those things that are going on outside us? That's at the heart of terrapsychological inquiry. So we'll hear more about that as we go. So in the course, we're going to have lectures every week. We will have readings for you to do every week. Not only the Terrapsychological Inquiry book, but also different articles that I've pulled from a variety of sources. We will have exercises and activities, and then every other week you will be posting in the discussion forum, and that will be in response to assignments that you'll get throughout the course. They're all posted at our Canvas page online. We will have a shorter midterm paper and a longer final paper, as well as a presentation. So when you go online, be sure to have a look at the very first page of the course where I've talked about some of this, and then I've provided links to areas like the syllabus that you'll need to understand pretty thoroughly before we get going. So let me give you a few suggestions also for doing well in the course. The first one is to very carefully read the syllabus and the front page, just to make sure that you have a good sense of where we're going to go and what we will do. Also, keep an eye out every week in your email for announcements. I don't make them that often in my courses, depending on what's happening with the course and the world and everything else. But every now and then I do send out announcements. You will usually receive them through email, but you can also look at them online in the Canvas space for our course as well. So look for discussion post assignments for the very first 2 weeks, and then every other week after that. So for the first week, it's go in and say hello to everybody and a few things on what you hope to get out of the course, besides a good grade. And then, so assignments for that week, assignment for the second week, and then after that, it will be every other week in terms of postings, but you'll have reading every week. Occasionally, I have links to videos that I'd like you to watch too. So I strongly recommend that you not get behind. This isn't the kind of course where you can wait for weeks and weeks at a time and then try to make up a bunch of posts at the very end. It's not going to work out for you to do that. So do yourself a favor and keep current. If you get behind a week, that's one thing. Life happens and things come up, and I'm pretty flexible about stuff like that. But don't make a habit of getting behind. This is an online course, which means you have to go in regularly and participate. We're going to have Zoom sessions, live sessions, 3 times during the course, and they are not required. Excuse me, you could think of them kind of like office hours. So to each of the Zoom sessions, which will last about an hour each, you can bring questions, comments, check-ins, what have you, focused on the course material. And one thing I like to do too in the Zoom sessions is focus, if anybody has one, on a dream that relates to the course material, a dream about some aspect of the natural world, or about where you're living now, or maybe a house that you grew up in, or an apartment, or what have you. Those are all rich. Also dreams about personal possessions. And we'll have some exercises about those things as we go, because dreams are an essential part of terrapsychological work too. If you don't remember your dreams very often, don't worry about it. Though there's other things that we're going to do too. My assumption in doing terrapsychological work is that the dream doesn't stay in the night world. So there are things outside of us that we can work with symbolically as well. The dream is something that we're inside of rather than just something that is inside of us. So be sure to read the Zoom etiquette suggestions too, posted on the very front page of the course. So you're up to speed on that. And then lastly, kind of going with what I just said, see if you can keep an eye on your dreams if you're aware of having any, or a dream journal. And as part of that, once you start doing that, sometimes, and I'll say more about this in the course, but sometimes you'll ask for dreams and they'll start showing up in other people near you. They may show up in a partner or a family member or a child or what have you. For all I know, our dogs are going woo and having our dreams, but you'll be able, with some of the tools in the course, to detect when they're actually your dreams. And this is so common that some Jungian analysts actually analyze a person's missing dreams through other family members. It's pretty cool. So we'll get into that in the course as well. So there's a lot to do. One takeaway from this short video, in addition to everything that I've said by way of keep up with the course and the other suggestions, but for the course overall, let yourself have some fun with it, because part of the reason terrapsychology exists and is available for those of us who practice it regularly, and there's a growing number of us, is that it lends itself to a sort of reenchantment, a psychology of reenchantment, whereby the things of the world that we tend to look at as just objects, coffee cups, what have you, under the eye of terrapsychology become presences. They become things that we're in conversation with. And that can be everyday objects, that can be a home that you're living in, a bed that you're sleeping in. I had a dream about my pillow talking to me once. So this gets pretty fascinating and deep. So I hope you enjoy the course, and I hope by the end of it, you'll not only get a good academic background and scholarly background in the various disciplines that terrapsychology draws on, but that you'll also have a sense of this reenchantment as a mood. So enjoy the course. I look forward to meeting you. Take care.